What's up, everybody? A Spare with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. We are back on our Corvette build, and we have moved to the testing phase! Woohoo! There's a few things that I've done already in preparation for that. Let's see here. I want to be able to access that. So, one of the first things that I did was I set up our testing weapons and landing gears. Kind of my pseudo fix that I mentioned in the last episode before, at least while they haven't fixed the pistons, basically. By the time I actually get to using this ship in a survival build, I have no doubt they'll fix the pistons or whatever. So in the overall blueprint phase thing, it'll probably have the pistons, but for testing, I needed to have them working and not pointed at things. It is important to note, though, I did have to add an extra block, whereas I believe the pistons, I just had them go down a little bit further so they were closer to the hull. But I couldn't do that with full blocks, so I ended up just adding an extra conveyor. And I used conveyors so that we can actually test the conveyor system and make sure all that's working. Let's see, we've got landing gears there and all that stuff, so all the weapons are set up. I also did a mock airlock, because the MCM elevator is still causing a crash, so I can't use that, but it'll effectively kind of do the same thing. And as you can see, we've got all the lights and stuffs and buttons and bits and bobs. In the back of my head, I have been working on the script for the airlock first. That's the first script I wanted to add. I'm working on my SKS OS version 2. So we have our mock-up airlock at the moment. And I did block this off, not for any particular reason, other than I'm trying to do some troubleshooting for the oxygen blocks. I noticed when I turned all the oxygen blocks on that the main hallway was off, and the oxygen level was 0, or none. And when I started closing doors, then they would open and then the air vents would turn on and things, and I thought that was kind of weird. And I noticed a couple of things. So, for example, we have air in here, and if we fly through the med bay, we have air here, we have air here, yet, when we go through here, this is still blocked off, even though it's set for on. And the same happened in our production room. So I've got a bit of troubleshooting to do here, as apparently there's a leak somewhere that is not properly sealed, and to be honest, I have absolutely no idea where that is. The only thing I can think of is that they never fixed the thing where the conveyors are not airtight. They're supposed to be, but I'm kind of thinking like right here might be the problem, actually. Maybe. And through here, maybe? I don't know where this goes. This goes up into the backup reactor, which shouldn't be a problem because that's still located in here. And as you can see, when I block this off, these work fine, and so do these up here. So it seems like it's just the reactor room and the processing room, which I don't really know why, other than these are the two rooms that connect out this way to that stuff. The only thing I can think of to fix this is either replacing something with a conveyor or using one of the DT mod conveyors to seal it, because these are all supposed to be airtight, I believe. There's a small airtight conveyor. So if I were to swap these out somewhere, first we're going to try the vanilla, because if I can keep it vanilla, I'd like to. But I don't honestly know where the problem is. It could be this turret that leads out that way, but that, I don't know. That looks like it should be fine. Let's try out here first. How do I get in here? Okay. And let's go ahead and add basic blocks. We're going to take that out. I'm actually going to save it because I don't want this to break. It shouldn't break. It shouldn't break because the conveyor's right there. So, alright, everything turns on. All good. Now, let's check the room. If I can find the room. Nada. Okay. So that was not the problem. So yeah, I've got to basically do some troubleshooting here. Oh, wait, no, we got another gap here. And there is always the possibility that, is this anything important that I can't break? Ah, it's angle blocks. Alright, we're gonna go in this way then. Let's put that there. And screw it, we'll put that there. Nope, still nothing. Dang it. I was really hoping that's what it was, because without that, I don't really know what other access points there are to these rooms. There's nothing connecting it down here. Spectator camera is a really good thing for this, by the way, in case you hadn't used it before, because you can just fly through the blocks and kind of look at what's around it. The other interesting part is this one and the server room are fine. So stuff like connecting to turrets and things isn't appearing to be the problem. But I honestly don't know what the problem is. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to maybe do some research into this and see how the game treats, oh, wait. What's that hole doing there? Nope, that didn't do it. Dang it! Cry my nitly. Okay, maybe I think I might have found it. Possibly. Let's find out. I did find that the conveyors are sealed, I believe, but even the vanilla ones, but the tubes and corners and stuff are not. So I'm gonna try and fill in around these guys. I try not to add extra blocks where you don't need blocks, but as it turns out, I might need blocks here. Because apparently, this is having a problem. So that should... yeah, there it goes. Alright, so this one's sealed now. Yay! Found it. Which means we have a similar problem over here, which doesn't honestly surprise me, because we have a couple of conveyor systems that are connecting to this over here, though that butts up to a conveyor, so that should be sealed there. That was a very weird sound. What this? Nope. I don't know if these armor plates will seal or not. So let's just go ahead and add that. Nothing? Okay. This... okay, here's a problem. There's a problem. Oh wait, maybe not. It's a problem if these don't seal, and I honestly cannot remember if they do or not. While that's connected, we're going to swap that. See if that seals anything. Not quite. And what does this connect to over here? That goes up and out, I think. Okay, so some of this can be from the rest of the ship not being sealed as well. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. Alright, so this looks like it might need one. Let's go ahead and put trying to make sure this holds so that it doesn't fall apart. Oh, wait, no, I did the same thing. Let's put 2 there. Nothing? Okay. The other thing that concerns me is this one. Because I have a curve going here, but I don't know where this conveyor plugs into. Uh-huh. All that's exposed. That's going to be a huge problem. Whoops! What the? That was not the block I was looking for. Okay, we'll seal that. Ooh. This is just a mess here. I really didn't want to have a bunch of... I'm just making sure that stays connected. I really didn't want to have a bunch of, like, connector things going on. Or not connector... What am I talking about? Covering up a bunch of stuff. Like, I didn't want to have just a bunch of random blocks kind of thing if I didn't have to. But, you know... It's still not working. I have another tube up here, though. Where's this run to? Okay, that goes up that way. It should be sealed at that conveyor. Well, that should be sealed. It goes over here. We sealed all that in. Put the conveyor there. And some of it, like, I understand that some of it's going to be going to other rooms. Like, it's not 100% sealed internally, but I don't really care about that. I'm trying to make sure that there's no air escaping out into the unpressurized areas of the ship. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna have to do some more trouble hunting for the reactor. I'm an idiot. Can anyone else see the problem here? Anyone at all? Raise your hand if you see the problem. Oh my gosh. Alright, what a dummy. And if you didn't catch it, you're gonna see it in a minute. Let's try actually connecting the vent, maybe. That sounds like a good idea to me. Jeez. I'm like doing all this stuff. I mean, it probably did need to have a couple of those needed to be sealed anyway, so I'm just gonna leave them, but still. Oh my gosh. I don't know about... Where was that one? The weapons. I don't know about all this. I don't know if I needed to do all this or not. I probably did. Okay, it doesn't seem to... Oh, you know why? It's because this is part of the server type room. Alright, we are going to cover this up anyway. That doesn't have a vent in there. Which I might want to fix. I don't know. I may want to fix that. And we don't need to worry about the conveyors. We just need to plug everything around the conveyor. Screw it. Just make it uniform. Okay. So, if we did all that correctly, we should have a nice and sealed place. Okay, check, check, check. Check, and check. Alright, so it looks like, and let's just do a quick run through. We're going to open all the doors. Ow. let's just see if we can kind of get this done. And I might, now that we know kind of where everything is, we'll go ahead and get rid of this. Okay. Okay. So, let's fly up to the bridge real quick just to double check. That one's working, that one's working. We see the CIC vents are working. Main hall's working. Yep. Yep. Okay. So, I think we got the air situation figured out. I don't know 100% that my airlock script will work at the moment. Yep, we're good. Air is finito. Another thing that I did, let me go ahead and get in this mode so that I can grab it. Oops, nope, not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I had my air farms out at the moment as well, because I was trying to figure out what was going on. I was like, well, maybe we don't have any air. The other thing that I did was I set the gravity. Gravity? Hello? Hello, gravity. Oh, I'm a dummy. Turn your HUD on. No? What happened? Oh, there it is. I thought I had that on. Anyways. So I went through, it's not exact, it's the best I could do. I basically measured it to the tip of the nose. So that's set. And the side wing, and that's set, because that's the farthest away, and the bottom is the farthest away from the generator. So I had to make sure those were covered. Oh, and I did the top. Never mind. Did I do top or bottom? I did the top. Because it's right at the edge of the bridge, and if I went any taller than that, then it wouldn't cover. So it has a little bit of a buffer on the sides because it's not centered on the ship. And a couple of people mentioned, you know, you could put it in the power? Somebody changed the textures to whatever that is. The batteries. Ah! The models are different. The rover area kind of thing, like you could put it under here or in the, so it's centered and you wouldn't have to have this overflow. You could do that, and it totally would not be a problem. I just like where it is, basically. It's all in the power room with the shield generators and all that stuff, so I just like that. But it does have an overflow. And what I mean by that is if I measured it to the side that's closest to it, then this side would get cut off and it might cut off the room in the middle, aka the processing room. And all that kind of stuff. So I didn't want to do that, so I basically measured it to its farthest points, but then the closer points are, you know, left over. For example, the gravity generator is all the way in the back of the ship here. So in order to get the nose, I couldn't get the depth to go any lower. So, you know, now I could have cut it a little closer and gone to, like, you know, here or something where it, you know, you're not gonna, and I really could, but honestly, I just don't care, and it's not going to matter that much. I mean, you're talking about that little bit of a nose when you got all this back here, that it's just going to bring it in a little bit further, so it's not really going to do anything. I also got it pretty close to this for the auxiliary generator as well. We'll turn that off, turn you on. And you can see I did it a little bit differently, but kind of similar, where there's overflow because it's on a different side. So, you know. And actually the height looks like it could come down a bit. Oh, wait, no, I did the height to the bottom because it was, that one is closer to the top. Wait. Yeah, okay. So when I did the height, I brought it up to this point, and you can see that it's still got a buffer up here for the ceiling. When I did this for the primary, you'll be able to see that the gravity is right at the top of the ceiling. It's like right there. If I drop it one more meter, then it's like right on the ceiling kind of thing. And so it's got a buffer down here. So, you know, it's one of those, I couldn't get it exact, but I didn't really care. So the gravity is set up. So that should be all well and good. Our weapons are set up to test, but I have to switch it over to survival and put ammo and all that kind of stuff in there. We might get to that today, I'm not sure. I was gonna do all that, and then the air confused me. I was trying to make sure everything was pressurized and whatnot. I am working on a script for the airlock part, and I'm trying to get it to where when you press this button, it runs to where it makes sure the doors close and everything's pressurized before this opens. And then you'll go down in here. This button is to open this from the inside, so you'd go down here and you push this button. It would shut this door, depressurize the room, and then open this one, and then you could go out. When you come back in, this will be open. You'll press this button, this will close, pressurize, and then this opens. So if I do everything right, that should be functional relatively soon. And actually, I found out something really cool. I put all these AI drone server blocks from a mod, all these guys. I put all these in here for decoration so it looked like a computery server room. It turns out those are actually programmable blocks. Because when you go to AI drone, you can grab any of these and you can see the code editor and stuff. So I actually have a ton of programmable blocks to run in here. I am going to do the script a little bit differently. In my Programming 101 series, when I was designing the OS, I was trying to do it off of one programmable block. And it's not that that's not doable, but it is a little bit cumbersome. So what I'm thinking of doing is more of a controller that then controls multiple facets. So for example, you have a programmable block for the airlock. You'd have one for power systems, one for controlling thrusters, you know, whatever you want to do. And then there's like a master programmable block that, you know, when you see the display and you decide you're going to click buttons or whatever, that kind of thing to select things, it would then run those selected blocks. That's what I'm thinking. And it's not going to be easier to set up, but it'll be easier to do, if that makes sense at all. Because I can do separate blocks at a time and get each system running. And originally I was going to have it to where like all these doors shut and then the air vents but I found out from doing a double airlock like this, you don't really need to, because all you have to do is make sure that chamber's pressurized. And then when you open the door and go down in there and you shut it, it's a separate air system from, it's basically only going to get its air from when you open this door, and there's air in there already. But because there's air in there already, it's not going to get much more than what that room can hold, if that makes sense. So because it's a separate system, this doesn't ever really need to be turned off. It's just going to basically buffer through there. So that worked out okay. Now the one issue that I hadn't really resolved is this guy in here, because this is not a pressurized room. Because there's no vent. So I can either add a vent, you know, like off to the side of one of these or something like that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think if that's necessary, because I believe if I open this right now, I have a feeling it's going to do that. Now, with all of this open, everything is now maximum pressurized, I believe. Because in theory, if I open this, this shouldn't do that. It does do that. Great. Okay. I guess this room wasn't full. Maybe it's full now? I don't know. We're in the testing phase. That's what we're doing. We're testing. Okay, so that's, the tanks are half full at the moment, and the room is full. Okay, so everything's open. Now, if I close this, I don't know how the game mechanics work for air. I haven't really tested it. I would think it would trap the air in there. It does. Okay, so it traps the air in there. But if I close this, and then I open the hangar and take the rover out, if you were out in space, you're going to lose all that air. And you're going to come back in, shut the door, and then open this, and it's still going to have to fill that back up. It may be worth it to add a couple of vents in there. I don't know. I mean, I've already got conveyors running around here, don't we? I guess they're around there. Oh, there's one right there. You know what I could do? Let me try something real quick. Sorry if this isn't really what you were expecting for this episode, but like I said, we're moving into the testing phase now. So when I see a problem, I kind of want to fix it. So if I do this, and then let's say we do... Oops, wrong button. Something like this? Oh wait, no. No, flip that. And then we could... Whoops-a-daisy. My bad. Oh wait, that's just a single block. Let's fill that in. Okay, what I'm thinking here is something to this effect. I totally forgot to turn my phone off. My bad. Something like that, maybe, could work. Oh, stop it. Right? Maybe? I can't see where this is. There it is. Okay, and then... Wait, what did I break? I hope I broke what I wanted to break. I did. It was just the block. Okay. Oh, wait, no, I broke that one. Crap. That's not what I wanted. I wanted that one. And then... we can do that. Right? Yes? Maybe? There we go. Okay, so we added a vent in there. And it doesn't have to be beautiful or pretty, it's just a little thing. And let me, while I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and rename that. I've been trying to keep a naming convention going so that it'll be easier for my programmable blocks to be able to identify stuff. We'll name this hangar. There we go. That'll work. And then I'll run through... There'll be a script thing where like a button is over here or something to open the hangar. Like right over here. And you can click that. Maybe that will do the whole all of these doors shut it deep. I don't know. That's a lot of work. I don't know. I might just suck the air out of that room or something. I don't know. It's also possible we could set it to pressurize, get in here, get in the ship, shut the door, depressurize that room, open the door, and then go out, and then when you come back in and the hangar door's shut, it turns back on and fills the room up before you open that hatch. That might be a more viable solution. Now, in theory, this should be the same way. This should be full now. Yeah, okay, so that's how it's always supposed to work. Alright. Alright. We're good, people. Okay, so gravity, taken care of. Air, taken care of. Functionally taken care of. Controlling the airflow, I still have to work on with the programs. But function-wise, it's there. I might want to throw another temporary hatch here, I'm not sure. Let's see. Alright, so our next step is probably to switch it over to survival. Is probably going to be the next step. And in survival, we're going to make a list. Yeah, I have kind of a list in my head, but just kind of blurt out things I might not have thought about. So here's my list. Here's what I'm thinking at the moment. We did airflow and pressurization and seals. So other than the airlock scripts and running, you know, when to open things and when not to, oh, I'm a dummy. I shouldn't have tied this into the existing airflow. I should have done the same thing that I did with the airlock. I should have had this as a separate system. Alright, I'll probably fix that off camera. instead of tying that into the conveyor, I will probably tie it to its own tank is probably what I'll do. And then we'll fill it up from opening this inside here, and then this can fill it up. Anyways, that'll be the simplest solution. So we got the airflow situation taken care of. All the vents work properly. Everything's properly sealed. Again, I did not plan to do that. I was planning on doing weapon testing and shields and all that stuff. And right before I started recording, I was like, okay, we got the setup, we're good to go, let's switch it over to survival. I noticed all the vents were like gray, and I was like, oh, they're off. So I turned them all on, and then some of them weren't working, and so that's kind of what started this episode. So I apologize, because that's not what I meant to do. I meant to work on the actual testing the ship in a survival situation, and that'll have to wait till next episode because we had to fix the air. So air's fixed, gravity's fixed, airlock controls should be good. I have to do some testing with it, and I think after I'm done testing it and I know it works, I might do my first Programming 102 episode where it kind of walks through how that works. I'm not sure. There's also some new stuff with the programmable blocks that I'm not used to, like this custom data field and stuff, that could probably open up a lot of things for doing different scripts and whatnot and making things a little bit easier. But, some of it's hard because it's not really its own thing. It's working within the confines of the game. And so you still have to use like the timer block tricks to call it all the time in order for it to check things and stuff, rather than just being able to tell it to yield or pause or something, because that will just hang the whole game up, kind of thing, as far as I know. Side note, I saw this too. This is pretty cool. Because of the new block updates, the catwalk, or the workbench here looks a lot better. I like it. So yeah, we got our air situation fixed. Gravity is done. The airlock is pretty much done. We have our weapons and landing gear set up to be tested, but I have to switch the environment. I may end up spawning in a planet or something so that I don't have to try and copy this world over to something else. So I'm not really sure how to do that, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, so the list of things that need to be tested. Let's go through that real quick before we wrap this episode up. Weapons and landing gears. Now, the landing gears are a little bit iffy because they're not actually using pistons, which is what they're supposed to be attached to, so I don't know if they will work correctly, or if they'll be more or less fragile than when I have a piston set up. I imagine less. I have a feeling pistons would be more fragile. But we're going to test landing on a world. The weapons I already test, they do clear the underbelly, but we tested that before with the pistons, if they were measured correctly. So there's that. But needless to say, it'll let us test the weapons for weight, ammo, stuff like that. I want to test flight controls and make sure that our gyroscopes and our void thrusters are enough and that we don't need to add any more, because we might. I don't know. Let's see, what else is there? Power. We need to test out the power on both reactor and battery, and then backup reactor and backup battery, and see what kind of power drain we're looking at while using the ship. Because when you're idle, it doesn't really use a lot, but when you're flying and firing and using shields and things like that, you use quite a bit. So we're going to have to switch back and forth and do some power testing. Not extensively, just look at the power grid and fly around and have it do things and stuff, and just test to make sure we're not like way under our required budget for power. I don't think we will be, but you never know. So power, weapons, landing gears, atmosphere transfer we need to test and make sure our thrusters can hold up and get us in and out of the atmosphere. If not, we'll have to adjust the thrusters or maybe add something. I don't know. I feel like it'll be okay, but I'm not sure. Let's see, what else? Oh! I just saw a big problem. I need to add a remote block somewhere, because sitting in the cockpit like this won't actually let me pilot it. So somewhere down in here in the CIC, maybe right there. Actually, let's see if we can do that right now. We don't really need those. Let's grab you. Now, I feel like you have to keep the orientation correctly, so maybe we won't put that there. Let's actually put it... Is this 1 block thick? This is 1 block thick. We're actually going to put it right behind there, I think. And then we'll surround this with heavy armor, just because we can. Make sure it's nice and sealed in there. And that should give us proper orientation for remote control of the ship, and it'll let us fly it from that cockpit, which is technically detached. So I had to make sure about that. So we got that taken care of. Anything else? Processing I'm not really worried about, because that's just a, it takes its time. I do want to try and mess with conveyor flow, and what I mean by that is putting things in the storage and making sure everything will work correctly for loading the weapons, reloading the weapons, offloading from the rover, just little things like that. I might spawn in some stuff just so we can work with it. When we switch to survival, I also want to test to make sure the respawn stuff works, and our charging and all that. Hydrogen, oxygen, all that crap works. We already talked about the reactor and power. And because I don't expect to use this room very often, or not room, this, a room, I guess, the access point, I want to let it fill with air. And then once I seal this, it'll I don't think I'm going to worry about a vent in here. I thought about it. But in all reality, I probably won't be getting in there very much. So once in a while, for it to depressurize, I don't think it'll be a big deal. Oh, jump drives. We also want to test out our primary and auxiliary jump drive range. Oxygen generation systems, make sure our farms out there work, make sure... I also have a vent that somebody suggested a long time ago set up here. It looks like it's off at the moment, but somebody mentioned it was a good idea to basically set that to depressurize, and then when you're on a system or a planet like Earth with an atmosphere, you can turn it on and the depressurize will pull air from the atmosphere into your system. So you don't need to run your farms or anything like that. You can just charge your ship. Cryo chamber, we need to double check and make sure that works way it's supposed to. And yeah, I think that's it. You can let me know in the comments or a message or something if I forgot anything. Rover deployment, I guess, is another one. But we kind of already talked about that. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I think that is all that we really need to test on the ship. So probably an episode or two, if all goes well and we don't find a bunch of problems during testing. I imagine we'll find a few things. I'm just guessing that we'll find a few things. Also, I had totally forgotten this, and I just realized, I was like, man, this looks a little different. They changed the corner block, or corner light model to match the interior light model. So it doesn't really look like the old modded version of the corner lights. They're more like an interior light. I actually like it. I totally didn't notice it at first, but I think I like how it makes things look. Now, I will say there's a current bug with the corner lights, or corner LCDs on small ships. They made them smaller, and for some reason the text is inverted. So that's something that I'm sure will get fixed, hopefully, relatively soon. Because obviously, as you can see, they're tiny, and a lot of people have complained that you can't really read them very well. I can on mine only because I cranked the font up real high, but now it's all cut off, so I'd have to crank it back down, and in that case, I don't know if I could read it right or not. But yeah, a lot of people mentioned that they weren't happy with the changes with the small ship grid. for corner LCDs. Corner lights, I don't think anybody really cared, but there's definitely been an uproar for the small LCDs, especially since it inverted the text too. So yeah, I think we're going to wrap things up here for this episode. Sorry if it wasn't what you expected. We're testing, so expect, with a testing phase, the best plan is don't expect anything to go right, because when you test things, you're always going to find things wrong. So, yeah, we're going to wrap things up here for this episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.